like normally how we differentiate this is that we have a linear arrangement, we have a circular arrangement, a matrix arrangement, and combination arrangement. Now, what is this linear arrangement? Anything in terms of a row, anything in terms of a straight line, or it could be anything in terms of vertically also. All right. It may contain a single row, or it may contain a two rows, right? Or it may have two columns as well. This we call it as linear arrangement, as it is linearly arranged. Simple as that. Simply put, it is just that. Okay. Now, next you have circular arrangement. Now, what is a circular arrangement? Circular, as the name itself indicates, it could be inside a circular table. It could be a dining table where everybody is facing the center. Maybe if in a family of 4, if you are seated in a dining table, what happens? You all will be facing the center. All right. But suppose if it is your college canteen, you can imagine if you have a circular table, what you do? One person will be facing the center. Other person may be looking at the other table as well. These kind of conditions also arise. How I'm trying to put is that I'm giving you a live example so that you can relate with respect to these arrangements. Now, with respect to these circular arrangements, there are two possibilities, as I told you. One is facing the center, or it is facing away from the center. Okay. Now, when you're facing the center, your left and right changes. When you're facing away from the center, your left and right again changes. Now, also you can have the combination of these two. Now, what is a combination of these two? That is, some people are facing the center and some people are facing away from the center. Now, we will get into it once we are doing the circular arrangement. Now, next, you have something called as matrix arrangement. Now, what is this matrix arrangement? Anything that is arranged in terms of a matrix. Either it could be an arrangement with respect to the number of people in a building, right? It could be with respect to your building, or it could be with respect to some arrangement of movies when you have more than 3 things. When you have more than 3 index, when you have more than 4 to 5 rows, in that case, we call these kind of arrangement as matrix arrangement. Or you can also include this matrix in the linear itself, where you can talk or you can say that you have multiple rows and multiple columns. Okay. Now, this combination arrangement. What is this combination arrangement? It could be an arrangement of linear and circular to get linear arrangement. Along with that, you also have a circular arrangement. Okay. Or you may have a linear arrangement. With the linear arrangement, they can give you some blood relations. Okay. Or they may give you some blood relations. Along with that, they can give you a circular arrangement. All right. Now, we have varieties of problems on this. If you want to talk about the different kinds of problems, you can go on and on. But what is important with respect to your recruitment training is that now what we have to do with respect to linear and what we have to do with respect to circular. These two are the important stuff. Now, let me take the linear arrangement first. Okay. Now, you have to imagine this in terms of your mobile phone. If you take out your mobile phone, you open your Google Maps, what happens? You see a map somewhat similar to this, right? You'll be having a map somewhat similar to this. In the left or in the right bottom, you will be having a compass. Now, what does that compass indicate? It indicates the direction towards which your direction is. Now, basically, it will be most of the times, it will be indicated as north, right? You will be having somewhat like a needle like this. In that case, you will be having a needle which is facing the north. And correspondingly, you will be having the other direction, south, east, west. These are the 4 cardinal directions. Now, why am I taking this Google map? Okay. In this Google map, what do you see? You just see the top view of the area wherever you are present. Suppose if you are seeing your college map, your college campus or your college, maybe the nearby canteen, or maybe the nearby coffee shops that you constantly visit. How do you see it? When you see it from the top, you will be getting a map in which it may indicate that here is your classroom, here is your canteen, here is your ground, something similar to this. These cases. Now, normally, when they don't specify any direction, we assume any person who is facing north. Okay. If a person is facing north, now who is to the left of him? Left is going to be your left. If a person is facing north, left is going to be your left exactly. Right is going to be your right. Your right is going to be the person's right when we are taking a person who is facing north. Okay. Now, suppose if I have a person who is facing north And there is my friend who is sitting opposite to me. When he is sitting opposite to me, he will be facing me, right? You can imagine a scenario. If you have your friends inside your room or anywhere, any siblings, what you can do is that you can imagine your friend opposite to you. Now your right is going to be your friend's left, and your left is going to be your friend's right. Now this is very important thing that you need to understand when you get a row problem with respect to your linear arrangement. Now let me say this is a person A who is facing north and person B who is facing south. Alright. Now A's right is nothing but your right. Now the person A's left is nothing but your left. Simple as that. Now whenever you have a person who is facing south, that is B is facing south. When B is facing south, your right is going to be B's left. You can imagine yourself standing opposite you. And your B's and your left is going to be nothing but your B's right. Now, these are the main two concepts that you have to come across with respect to your linear arrangement. Now, that is what is also shown in this figure. Now, you can see here facing north. Now, the people seated on this row, let me take A, B, C. Now, all these A, B, C, we consider them as facing north. When they are facing north, your right is going to be their right, your left is going to be their left. Now, when I say B is seated to the right of A. Now, first I'll be marking the place of A. B is seated to the right of A. In that case, right of A is nothing but your right. In that case, I can write it as B. Now, let me suppose that there are people seated opposite to me in the facing southern direction. X, Y, Z. Now, who is to the right of your Y? Your right of Y is nothing but your left. Why? Because they are facing the south. Okay. Now, who is to the left of Y? Left of Y is got nothing but your Z. So, these are the main two concepts that you have to think about. And also, you will come across the combinations of facing north and south. Now, that is what is shown in this diagram here. Now, what does this indicate? Let me number A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now, who is to the right of B? A right of B is nothing but your right. To the right of B, we have C. Now, who is to the right of C? This is not the right of C because C is facing the southern direction. So, the right of C is nothing but your left. So, to the right of C, we have B. Or we can say, with respect to the right of B and C, we basically have each other. Right? Now, if you are good with this concept, let me move on to an example. Okay? Now, let me take up this first example. The first example, I will solve it. The second onwards, I'll give you an opportunity to solve it on yourself. Right? Now, AP, RX, SZ. So, totally there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, there are 6 people sitting in a row. When they say it is a row, when they say it is a bench, when they say it is a any linear arrangement, this is nothing but your linear arrangement. So we can write it as 6 seats. There are 6 persons. Now S and Z are in the center. S and Z are in the center. Which are the 2 center seats? That is, these 2 are nothing but the center seats. Now I can take S here and Z here. Or I can take Z here and S here. Now, why am I writing this S or Z is that if S takes the 3rd place, Z will be in the next place. If S takes the 4th place, Z will be in this place because these 2 are nothing but the middle seats. Now, we definitely don't know. We will look into the further data, how we can arrange it, rest of the stuff. Okay. Next, A and P are at the ends. Which are the 2 ends? So, I have one end here and I have one more end here. Now, I can have A or P at the first place, or I can have P or A at the last place. Right? Now, R is sitting to the left of A. Now, this is a key question, key data that you have to analyze. Now, R is sitting to the left of A. Now, what is left of A in this case? Left of A is this position. Now, according to the arrangement, we don't have a place here at all if I take A here. Now, what am I supposed to do? I cannot take A at this place. Why? Because to the left of A, I need to have R. So, A's definite position is the right end. It is not the left end. Alright. Now R is sitting to the left of A. I can have to the left of A, I can have R. Right? Okay. Now among A, P, R, X, S and Z, now who is the left out person? The left out person is nothing but X. So the remaining person I can put here. So the arrangement I've got here is P, X, right? Now I can have S, Z or S, Z. You can take it as it is, that is S or Z, Z or S as it is, and then R, and then you can have a A. Now what is the question? Who is to the right of P? Now who is to the right of P? The right of P is nothing but X. Right? Getting it? Yes? Okay. Now, if that is the case, in the next question. Let us try the next one. Now, I'll give you an opportunity to try this. Five girls are sitting on a bench to be photographed. So how many are there? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, Seema is to the left of Rani. So first I have to mark a place for Rani. So Seema is to the left of Rani. I can take Seema and Rani here, or I can take Seema and Rani here, or I can take Seema and Rani here. Anything for that matter. Now, but Seema is definitely to the left of Rani. Seema is to the left of Rani and to the right of Bindu. That is, right of Bindu means to say that Seema is between Bindu and Rani. Simple as that. So I got three arrangement. That is Bindu, Seema, Rani. This is the way in which they can be arranged. Now Mary is to the right of Rani. Mary is to the right of Rani. So right of Rani is nothing but you have Mary. Right? Now we have last person. Rita is between Rani and Mary. Rita is between Rani and Mary. Okay, you can take it as Rita is between Rani and Mary. So in this case, they have said that Mary is to the right of Rani. It is not immediate right. So you can modify it. When they say immediate left and immediate right, then you can take it. Or you just say that if it is left and right, then you can. You can type in the chat box once you get the answer for this. A, B, C, D, E are sitting on a bench. Bench means to say that it is a linear arrangement again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? A is sitting next to B. Either it could be A and B, or it could be B and A. That is, A and B are always next to each other. Next, C is sitting next to D. The same condition. Either it is C and D together, or it is D and C. Right? Now D is not sitting with E. What does it indicate? D and E cannot be together, or E and D cannot be together. that is to the left and right of D, you should not have a E or vice versa. Now is not sitting with E, who is on the left end of the bench. Now who is on the left end on the bench? Now please remember, whenever this who comes, okay, it will be followed to the immediate person whom they are talking about. Now E, who is to the left end of the bench, means to say that which is the left end, this is the left end and this is the right end. Your left and your right, because when they don't specify the direction, we take everybody to be facing north. Now what happens here? I can take E at the very first place. E at the very first place, that is E on the left end of the bench. Right? Now C is on the second position from the right. C is second position from the right. Now which is the right? This is the right. Now this is the first position from the right and this is nothing but the second position from the right. So I can take C at this position. Now A is to the right of B. Now A is to the right of B means I'll be having B first, then I'll be having A to the right of B. Now I had two cases, that is BA or AB. In this case, I'm having A to the left of B. So this does not exist. So I'm having B and A next to each other. Now A is sitting next to the B. Now I need to take A and B always together. A and B should always be together, sitting next to B. So in this case, I have two places here and I have one place here. Definitely I cannot take A and B here. I'll be taking B and A here. That is B. To the right of B, I have A. A is to the right of B. Now who is the left out person? That is nothing but D. Now C and D are supposed to be together. Right? Now in which position A is sitting? It is very clear. A is seated between B and C. So A is seated between B and C. Okay, now you have a multiple row. Now you have a multiple row. Multiple row. Please read the question properly. Study the following information carefully and answer the given questions. 12 people are sitting in two parallel rows. So totally there are 12 people sitting in two parallel rows containing 6 people each, such that they are equidistant from each other. Okay. In row 1, you have P, Q, R, S, T, V are seated and all of them are facing south. And all of them are facing south. So row 1, I can take 6 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the direction they are facing? They are facing south. Right? In row 2, there are 6 people. Take 6 people. And which direction are they facing? They are facing north. Right? Therefore, in the given seating arrangement, each member seated in a row faces another member of the row. That is, one person is facing the other person. Next, S sits third to the right of Q. S sits third to the right of Q. Now first, I need to mark a place for Q. Then I can find what is third to the right of S. Okay. Now, this is the arrangement. Okay. Now let me see. Q is in first row or Q is in second row. Q is in first row. So if I take Q here, Q will be facing south. Now S sits third to the right of Q. Now which is the right of Q? Q is facing south. So your left is going to be Q's right. So one place to the right, two place to the right, third to the right. So S is seated third place to the right of Q. See if you're getting it. See if you're getting it. Just leave this for a moment. Right? S sits third to the right of Q. Okay. Either S or Q sits at the extreme end of the line. Now there are two possibilities. I have got 4 seats here. Now, if S is in one of the extreme end, I can have two people here, right? This is one possibility. Or if Q sits at one of the extreme end, I can have two people here. That is what it means. Either S or Q. It is not both. Either S means either it is S or Q. Sit at an extreme end of the line. Now, I'll take both the possibilities. Now, one case, I'll be taking it as Q at the extreme end. And one more case, let me take it as S at the extreme end. Right? If I take this, then there will be one person here, one person here. Now, in this case, I'll be having 6 people facing opposite to that of right. Similarly, the same case with respect to this. So you can have all the people who are facing opposite to each other. Okay. The one who faces Q sits second to the right of E. Now let me suppose that there is a person X. There is a person X who faces Q. The one who faces Q sits to the second to the right of E means in this case, if I take E here, okay, the one who is facing Q is second to the right of E. That is first to the right of E, second to the right of E. So this is valid. If I take E to be at this position, so this is going to be first to the right, second to the right. This will be third to the right. It's not third to the right. They have specified second to the right. So the position of E is nothing but E. Now, who is seated opposite to Q? We don't know who is seated opposite to Q. But we know the one who sits opposite to Q is second to the right of E. Now, similarly, you can arrange here as well. You can take E here. So second to the right of Q is nothing but E. One will be definitely wrong between these two arrangements. I'm just show you. Two people sit between B and F. Neither B nor F sits at an extreme end of the line. Two people sit between B and F. So it is B, two people, F. Okay. Neither B nor F sits at an extreme end of the line. Now what does it indicate? There are 6 seats. Now where does your B and F come? Your B and F come in the second row. Okay. Now this says two people sit between B and F, and your B and F are not at the extreme end means there are two people next to B and next to F. Right? There should be one person before B, there should be one person after F. Or there should be one person here and there should be one person. Either you take B, you definitely have to take F or B here. No other option. Right? Or if you take B or F here, then there are two people, then you can take F or B here. In both the cases, you are getting one person to be seated at the corner, one of the corner. So this arrangement is not possible. That is what it means. Right? Now what I can do? B and F. I'll be taking the first arrangement. Now in this first arrangement, two people sit between B and F. So I can take B and F. So one person. So one person and F or B, two persons. So these two are not at the extreme ends of the line. The immediate neighbor of the B faces the person who sits third to the right of B. Now, please understand this. The immediate neighbor of B faces the person who sits third to the right of B. Next, R and T are immediate neighbors. So I need to have R and T to be immediate neighbors. That means R and T are together or T and R together. C sits second to the left of A. C sits second to the left of A. Now where should I take C and A? Where should I take C and A? C sits second to the left of A means A, I have it here. First to the left, second to the left. Now A and C come in the second row. Now the only possible place to be, if I take A here, C second left, not possible. So the only possible place for A is the third place. Now C sits second to the left of A. Right? Next, T does not face the immediate neighbor of D. T does not face the immediate neighbor of D. Now, among the given place, the left out place is for D is D. Now, T does not place the immediate neighbor of D, means to say that who is the immediate neighbor of D? F or B. So T does not place face means I cannot take T at this position. If I cannot take T at this position, and you have R and T who are always supposed to be together, right? I can take R or T here, T or R here, right? Next, now let us talk about P. The immediate neighbor of B faces the person who sits third to the right of P. Now, third to the right of P, let me suppose if I take P, first, second, third, immediate neighbor of B. So this is not valid, right? So what I'll do, I'll take P here. If I take P here, first to the right of P, second to the right of P, third to the right of P. Now, in this case, can I take immediate neighbor of B? Yes. If I assume that B has taken the second place and F has taken the fifth place, now the immediate neighbor of B is nothing but C. And in this case, B faces the person who sits third to the right of P. This is also valid, right? Now, T doesn't take this place. Among P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, who is the left out person? That is nothing but V. So I have to take V here. If you want, once you get the arrangement, then you can cross check with the given arrangements as well. Now, S sits third to the right of Q. You can see at an extreme end of the line. So I have Q at the extreme end of the line. The one who faces Q sits second to the right of E. That also has been arranged. Two people sit between B and F. Now, two people, we have A and D sitting between B and F. Neither B nor F sits at an extreme end of the line. We don't have B or F at the extreme end of the line. That is fine. The immediate neighbor of B faces the person who sits third to the left of P. Now, the immediate neighbor, either it could be C or it could be A. Now, in this case, if I take P here, third to the right of P is first, second, and third. That is nothing but either R or T. I have C here. Now, R and T are immediate neighbors. R and T are immediate neighbors. Don't get confused. You have a full stop here. It is not the immediate neighbor of P. You have a full stop here. You can clearly observe. Okay. C sits second to the left of A. C sits second to the left of A. T does not face the immediate neighbor of T. Now, T does not face the immediate neighbor of D. So this is what the arrangement I'll be getting. Right. So to be more clear, so this is what you'll be getting it. Right. Okay, in this case, I think this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is definitely correct. This is definitely correct. Okay. Right. Now, okay, let me take up the circular arrangement now. Right. As I told you with respect to a circular arrangement, so you can see people who are facing the center. Now, when we have people who are facing the center, let me take this person. Let me number him as A. So his right is this. and his left is this, right? This is nothing but his right, and this is nothing but his left. Whereas if I take this person B, this is going to be his left and this is going to be his right. Right? So one simple understanding with respect to circle is that you can take this. So whenever I say right, you will be going anti-clockwise when they are facing the center. Whenever I say right, you will be going anti-clockwise. Whenever I say left, you will be going clockwise. Okay. So whenever I say right, it is anti-clockwise when they are facing the center. When they are facing away from the center. So away from the center if you take, away from the center if you take. So if you have a person A here, B here. Now B facing north. So when I say right, you will be going clockwise. When I say left, you will be going anti-clockwise. Okay. So please remember this, center with respect to facing the center and facing away from the center. Let us take a few problems based on this. Now we have P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Totally how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 are sitting around the circle and facing the center. So 8 people, let me take the circle. So this clearly says they are facing the center. Right? So that is nothing but P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. Now, first, P is second to the right of T. P is second to the right of T. Now first I should be marking T. I can mark T here, I can mark T here, I can mark T anywhere I want because the final arrangement is going to be the same thing. Suppose if I mark T here, P is second to the right of T. Now what is right? They are facing the center, I have to go anti-clockwise. First to the right of T is this position. Second to the right of T is this position. Right? So P is second to the right of T means I can take P to be at this position. Now check further. P is second to the right of T. Now T, who is the neighbor of R and V. Now T, who is the neighbor of R and V. Neighbor of R and V means to say that if R is here, V will be here. If V is here, your R will be here. That is what it means. Next, S is not the neighbor of P. Now there are two places with respect to P. This is one place which will be definitely occupied by either V or R. Now you have one more place. So this position, I cannot take S here at any cost. V is a neighbor of U. Now when they say V is a neighbor of U, if I take V here, I cannot have a neighbor with respect to V. Alright, that is I cannot have U next to it. So this definitely clears out the option of R and V. So R has to be here and U has to be here. So if U is here, the neighbor V is the neighbor of, sorry, this is R and V, right? So this is V. So V is a neighbor of U means to say that I can take U here. Now, Q is not between S and W. Q is not between S and W. That is, Q cannot come between S and W, or W, Q, S is not possible. Right? W is not between U and S. So suppose if I take the first one, I can write it as S, Q, W. So this is not possible because they've said Q is not between S and W. So this I cannot take. Now W is not between U and S. W is not between U and S. Q is not between W and S. So the only way what I can do is that I can take W next to U. Now if I take W next to U, right, I cannot take Q here, right, because Q comes between. So suppose if I take S and Q here, is that fine? Is that fine? Check with it. Now Q is not between S and W. Now Q is definitely not between S and W. W is not between U and S. Now W is also not between, okay, W is between U and S. So what am I supposed to do? I'll change the place of S and W. I'll write S here. I'll write W here. Right? Now check again. Q is not between S and W. Definitely Q is not between S and W. Now W is not between U and S. Now W is not between U and S because U and S are together. Now this is a final arrangement that we will be getting based on the circle. Right? Anyone has a doubt with respect to this? Right? Okay, this is going to be the same time. So which two of the following are not the neighbors of? Which two of the following are not the neighbors of? Or not neighbors? Okay. R and V. Okay. U and V are neighbors. R and P are neighbors. Q and W are neighbors. But R and V are not neighbors. So this is the option that we need to pick. So similarly, the next one, who is to the immediate right of V? Immediate right of V, we have P. It is going to be the same question. So with respect to linear and circular arrangement, you will be given a data. Based on that data, at least you will be having 3 or 4 questions. Most of the cases. If you are lucky enough, you will be having 4. But sometimes you may have even 2 as well. Okay. Similarly, this, which of the following is correct? Now you have an arrangement. You can check with that. You have an arrangement. So P is to the immediate right of Q. P is to the immediate right of Q. Now P is to the immediate right of Q. Is that correct? No, it is left of Q. Q is facing the center. It is left of Q. So first one is wrong. R is between U and V. R is between U and V. No, that is again wrong. Q is to the immediate left of W. Q is to the immediate left of W. W is facing south, that is facing the center, immediate left. So this is correct. So this is definitely correct. Now U is between W and S. U is between W and S. You have W and S. U is not between W and S, which is definitely false. Right? Similarly, the next, what is the position of S? Maybe you can check with that later. We will move on to next one. All right. You just have to check. Once you get the arrangement, that is what is important for us. If you are getting the arrangement correct, you will get the 4 questions that is to be correct. Now, can you do this problem now? I'll give you 3 minutes for this. I'll give you 3 minutes for this. People who are done with it, they can let me know that you have got an answer so that I can check with it. Six friends are sitting in a circle. Right? Facing the center. Deepa is between Prakash and Pankaj. So let me take Deepa. So Prakash or Pankaj, Pankaj or Prakash. Preeti is between Mukesh and Lalit. Now I have Preeti. Preeti is between Mukesh and Lalit. So it will be Lalit and Mukesh or Lalit. Prakash and Mukesh are opposite to each other. Now having a place for Prakash is very important. First I need to fix a place for Prakash. So I can either take Prakash here or I can take Prakash here. So what I'll do, I'll take Prakash at this position. If I take Prakash here, Prakash and Pankaj. So why am I taking Prakash here? Sir, why are you taking this? So whenever you are having an, possibility, please make sure that you go clockwise first. This is a shortcut that will work 90% of the problem. Don't blame me, when it doesn't work. It works going clockwise with respect to circular arrangement 90% of the times. But there are places where you may not get it as well. But majority of the problem with respect to your circular arrangement, you can go clockwise. So that is why I'm taking Prakash first and then Pankaj. Now Prakash and Mukesh are opposite to each other. I can take Prakash and Mukesh here. So if I take Mukesh here, your Preeti is between Mukesh and Lalit. I cannot take Preeti here, so I can take Preeti here. So Preeti and I have Lalit. So I have Lalit. Okay, Preeti is between Mukesh and Lalit. Okay, that is fine. Prakash and Mukesh are opposite to each other. Deepa is between Prakash and Pankaj. This is also correct. Right? Now let me check. Okay, I don't have the answer. Now who is sitting to the right of Prakash? Right of Prakash, you have Prakash is here. Right of Prakash, I have Lalit. Right? Who is just right to Pankaj? Pankaj is facing the center. Right to Pankaj is Deepa. Right? Who are the neighbors of Mukesh? Pankaj and Preeti. Neighbors means immediate neighbors. Pankaj and Preeti. Who is sitting opposite to Preeti? Opposite to Preeti we have Deepa. So what happens in case of your test is that you will be given an options. But always I suggest that don't go for the options. Don't even look into the options. First get the arrangement. Once you get the arrangement, then there is a possibility that you will be making it a right answer. But once you see an option, what happens is that, okay, this is the option, this is that, you will slightly get deviated and distracted with respect to your problem. So I don't want that to happen with you. All right. Next. In an exhibition, 7 cars of different companies. So there are 7 cars. Cadillac, Ambassador, Fiat, Maruti, Mercedes, Bedford, Fargo are standing facing to the east. Facing to the east in the following order. Now, how do you take facing to the east? Now, if you have a car, so this is like they are facing east. So you'll be having one more car and this car is facing east. Right? I told you with respect to the arrangement, we consider every time it is north. To the left, it is going to be your left. To the right, it is going to be your right. Now, in this case, if you have facing to the east, the left of this car is going to be this position. The right of this car is going to be this position. Now, it will be slightly trickier for us to solve. Now, what I can help you with respect to this is we have a compass. North, south, east, west. Now, I request you to rotate this compass. Now, when we rotate this compass, what happens? Your east comes here, your north comes here, your west comes here, and your south comes here. Now, if I take my east here, my north will be here, my south will be here, and my west will be here. Now, by this, I can say that all of them are facing east. Right? So, 7 different cars, I can easily take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now it will be easier for me to solve. Instead of if I had taken it as east, you will go wrong. So I request you to change the compass. When you have all the flexibility to do that. There is no issue with that. Do I make sense? Okay. Now try filling up this. Now try filling up this. So they are facing east. Cadillac is next to the right of Fargo. Next to the right of Fargo. So if I take Fargo first, the right of Fargo is going to be the right. So F and C are together and they are facing east. Next, Fargo is 4th to the right of Fiat. So first I have to mark Fiat. Once I mark Fiat, first to the right, second to the right, third to the right, and then you have 4th to the right. The 4th to the right of Fiat, you have Fargo. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now to the right of Fargo, what do I have? According to the first statement, that is Cadillac. Maruti car is between Ambassador and Bedford. And also this says Fiat, which is third to the left of Ambassador. A Fiat, I've already fixed a position. If Fiat has to be third to the left of Ambassador, if I take Ambassador here, first to the left. If I take Ambassador here, second to the left. If I take Ambassador here, yes. If I take Ambassador here, Fiat place third to the left of Ambassador. Okay, and is at one end. That is, Fiat is third to the left of Ambassador and it is at one end. That is, I can take this to be one end. Now, Maruti car is between Ambassador and Bedford. So I can take the Bedford here and I can take the Maruti in between Ambassador and Bedford. A Fiat is at one end. The other end has to be obviously the next end. Now, which is a left out car? The left out car is nothing but a Mercedes. Got the arrangement? Yes. Right? Let us cross check with that. See, you can see here. So I have Fiat, Bedford, this is Maruti, not Mercedes, Maruti, Ambassador, Fargo, Cadillac, Mercedes. The same thing here. So first I have Fiat, next I have Bedford, next I have Maruti, Ambassador, Fargo, Cadillac, Mercedes. You can also do this, but I suggest you to rotate it because when you are facing east, your right and left will be easier for you. But if you are taking it vertically, you will definitely get the answer, but you will be having some additional 45 seconds to 1 minute or 1.5 minutes you may be taking it. So the time is very important with respect to your campus recruitment training. Okay. Next. Okay. Try this. Try this. Try this. Six friends, PQ, RSTU, are sitting around the hexagonal table. Why are we doing so many problems based on arrangement is that you will definitely have one arrangement problem. And one arrangement will give you at least 3 to 4 questions. And these 3 to 4 questions are very important, right? Because easily scoring, please. Hexagonal table. Now, which kind of arrangement is it? Hexagon, rectagon, everything is nothing but facing the center, or we can say circular arrangement. Now, hexagonal table, I can take right, are sitting around a hexagonal table at each one corner and are facing the center of the hexagon. So each corner there is one person and they are facing the center. So dining table, all these problems are nothing but circular arrangement problem. Right? Now P is second to the left of you. P is second to the left of you. First I have to take U. Suppose if I take U here. Okay, I'll take U here. Second to the left of you. So first to the left, second to the left. So second to the left of you, I have P here. P is second to the left of you. Next, Q is the neighbor of R and S. What does it indicate? Q is the neighbor of R and S means to say that Q lies between R and S. That is, either it is R and S or S and R. R and S can be both the ways. Now, looking into this figure, you need to have R, Q, S together. When you need to have R, Q, S together, it is very obvious that you should be taking R and S, Q, S and R. Right? Now, who is the left out person? The left out person is T. Right? This is what the arrangement we have got. But now there is additional information. Now T is second to the left of S. Now T is second to the left of S means they are confirming the position of R and S with respect to us. Now, what is the position of R and S? Now here, suppose if I take S here, first to the left, second to the left. Right? In this case, I'm definitely getting second to the left of S. So that is nothing but means to say that S has to be here and R has to be here. So we have to keep on erasing and keep on doing it, keep on modifying it. Okay. When we keep on modifying it, then you will be definitely getting it. Right. Now you can easily answer the question. Which one is sitting opposite to P? Opposite to P we have S. Who is fourth person to the left of Q? We have your Q here, left S clockwise. So first, second, third, fourth. Fourth person to the left of Q is P. Which of the following are neighbors of P? You have R and you have S. That is R and T. Sorry, R and T. Who is sitting opposite to T? Opposite to T you have Q. Right? You can check here. So we have PTU, RQS. So we have PTU, RQS. Okay. Now we have blood relation problems. With respect to blood relation, what happens is that I'll just give you an intro of this. Once I give you an intro, let us have a small break of 15 minutes. Now, with respect to blood relation, all of us know. I mean, in South India that we have Chikappa, Dodappa and all that, Tata, Aur Tata, Your Tata and all that, right? Now, with respect to blood relation, it is very simple in case of English. So, if you have a father and a mother, okay? Anyone who is brother of father, we call them as uncle. Suppose, let us assume that you are the person. Okay, you are the son, okay? You are the son. So, your father and mother. So, father's brother, what is the relation? You call it as uncle. Mother's brother, what do you call? Mother's brother is also uncle. Mother's sister, you call it as aunt. Father's sister, you call it as aunt. Father's father, you call it as a grandfather. So father's mother, a grandmother. And the same thing with respect to mother's father, a grandfather. And mother's mother, you call it as a grandmother. Right? Now, in this case, suppose if your uncle or aunt has a kid. Let me just erase this aunt part. Now, uncle is married to someone. When uncle is married and the uncle has a kid, let me say the person is X. Now, what is the relation between you and this person X? These two are nothing but what we call it as cousins. Right? Now, this is going to be slightly complicated as I keep on going. So, what I will do is that I'll give you a smaller trick with respect to blood relations flowchart. Now, what is the trick with respect to blood relations flowchart? Wherever I come across a male, I'll denote the male in a square box. Wherever I come across a female, I'll denote the female in a circle. Okay? Wherever I have a married relationship, I'll denote it in terms of a equal sign. So this indicates these two are pair. Wherever I have a sibling, I'll be indicating with a double arrow mark. Now, wherever I have a one generation leading to the next generation, that is if I have a son or a daughter, so generation, I'll be showing it with a drop down bar. Now just observe this. Alright. Now here, how many married couples are there? You can easily say, so this is one married couple, this is one married couple, this is one married couple. It is easier for us to understand. Now let us see what are the relationships that you come across. Suppose if I take X, what is the relation of B with respect to S? It is easy. I can say B is nothing but the mother of X, right? What is the relation of B with respect to X is? B is mother of X. What is the relation of X with respect to B? With respect to B, X is nothing but daughter of B. Now, how do I say daughter? Daughter is nothing but I've denoted it in a circle. So when it is a circle, I said it is a female. So this downward arrow mark indicates one generation leading to the next generation, right? Now, what is the relation between X and Y? So A and B are father, mother. So X and Y are brother, sister. So sibling relationship, brother and sister, right? What is the relation between Y and Z? These two are nothing but, so I can easily say that Y's aunt, that is Y's mother's sister. Y's mother's sister is nothing but aunt. Y's aunt's son is nothing but Z. So Y's aunt's son, what do you call? You call them as cousins. Same parents, you call it as brother, sister. So it is uncle's or aunt's daughter or son, you call it as cousins. Right? Now, what is the relation of C with respect to Y? With respect to Y, C is nothing but aunt. Now, with respect to C, what is Y? Y is nothing but C's sister's son. What do you call sister's son as? That we call it as nephew. If it is a male, we call it as nephew. If it is a female, we call it as niece. Getting it?